What's up, guys? Tuki here, back again. This is, for some reason, this is still Rebuilding Hockey Town, the series that refuses to die. It just fucking refuses to die. For really the third time, definitely the second time in this series, where I felt like, okay, it's the right time to end this, and we can move on and put our focus and attention onto another series. No. Instead, no. God. I'm at a loss for words already, and the episode just started. The first time we get Sam Boliris, medium franchise, and then, the second time you could consider, that we got Stan Dundas. But now, oh boy, now, we not only won the Stanley Cup, but then we get the first overall pick, and we're able to draft high franchise goaltender Dylan Boyer. 70 overall at 18 years old, high franchise. This series refuses to die. It just refuses, and it's so frustrating, but it shouldn't be because, hey, you're winning cups, and then you get this gem of a player. Just, here you go, says EA. But it is so frustrating. It really is. And now the thing is, I have to take this on a year-by-year basis, because I don't know how much longer I want this series to go. But anyway, I'll stop talking, or not stop talking, but I'll at least stop, stalling, I should say. Let's figure out what the hell we're going to do with this team. Now, Joseph Woll, I am going to let him go. For now, a lot of talk of maybe trading Stan Dundas, which, to be honest, I'll probably keep him until he's better than Van Katterson, in which case Dundas will be our starter for a season, and then we'll trade him, because Boyer will be ready. What a disaster. A beautiful disaster, but what a goddamn disaster. And I just don't know how we are going to progress throughout this episode as we set up the team for whatever the hell the next season brings. Again, the constant roster turnover continues, and we have so many players. Just, oh god. And then you have to factor in if we get rid of somebody, like, hell, it's our last season with Connor McDavid, for sure. Like, we are going to have to trade Connor McDavid, because at the end of this year, his contract is up. Of course, when we traded Aaron Ekblad for Connor McDavid, we got Connor McDavid for half the price. He's been on $6.1 million for the past few seasons. And after this, we'll have to go back to paying him $11 million or whatever the hell it was. I mean, he was getting $12 million, so... Oh my god. It was the perfect time to end the series with a cup win and everything. And instead, we have to deal with this disaster. Now, excuse me while I open up Ye Olde Calculator app, because with Enroth, I am going to try and save just a little bit of money. I will admit, I'm intrigued to see what this team would look like, because, again, changes will continue to happen, as they tend to do when you have a team like this and when you take advantage of a system like this. Not to mention, of course, Chris Zeeler. We took him with the 4th overall pick. And he's a 77 overall at 18 years old. I can't even, man. That is the only proper phrase here at this point. I just don't understand it. Like, I do, because, of course, obviously, I've been taking advantage of the system. But why the game is determined to keep this series alive, I have no idea, because I'm over it. I'm ready for this series to end, but it just refuses to die. Wow, Stan Dundas actually rejected our contract offer. Really? I guess maybe I tried to shortchange him a little bit too much. We'll see. I got $13 million to spend. We'll make the most of it, but that's surprising. So for RFAs, Galchenyuk, Smith, and Celios, we do have enough to repay them. God, what that... You know what? Screw it. I don't care. I'm going to try to save as much money as I can, because if we're continuing this, I really should make the most of it. And yeah, 2.5 was a little bit too low. I think that's what I offered him, 2.5. Maybe not. Galchenyuk. wants a little bit too much money. Do the old 85% trick. If I could type properly and stop hitting the wrong... God damn it, I've lost my ability to type. I'm losing my mind. I am losing my mind. So that'd be 1.9 even for him. Smithson, who will probably be traded, in fairness, isn't looking for that much money. I'll just drop him down to 3.1. And then Celios, that works. Sure. Let's see if we can hear back from these guys. Let's see what everybody has to say, and then we'll take it from there. Who knows? Free agency will probably have a 95 overall player hit the markets. It's just not fair. And I think with those 4 players accepting that covers everybody, I think. Maybe. Let's double check before we move on. By the time I let go of somebody for absolutely no reason. Indeed, that is it. Alright, sweet. So, let's move on to free agency and see if anybody half decent is available. And I guess we'll continue to set up this team as I always do. And we'll try to get the best possible players and act like this is still going for however long, because at this rate it might be. Like, I guess it's just meant to be when you literally have, for no reason, a high franchise level player show up at this stage. It just doesn't make sense. And yeah, I'm glad to see. Wow, Vic Marsh is actually a free agent. There you go. I'm glad to see that the Swedes are at the top of the list there. That's great. Nobody fall for the trap of signing them. You'll regret it. You will regret it. I'm telling you. You'll regret it. Now, funny enough, I am actually going to look to see who the best goalie prospects are. Now, Joseph Wall is a free agent. Of course, not like we're going to need him. Is there anybody decent? No, there is not. But it was at least worth checking for the hell of it. Defenseman. Do we have anybody half decent? No, we don't. Wow, they are all just hot garbage. Hot garbage, I say. Right wings. Anybody aside from Vic Marsh? Nope. Great. Wow. Okay. Well, I guess our team is pretty much set then at this point. A lot of medium top 6 guys, but of course, looking at the age, the youngest one is 24, so that's not great. Any high top 9s? Absolutely not. There was nobody available. I'm not going to sign Vic Marsh. People wanted me to get rid of him so badly, and now he's a free agent. People are like, bring him back. No. You stupid? I mean, I could, but that's the thing. I do have $9 million to spend. Here's the problem with bringing in a player like him at this point. By the way, how the hell did Emile Poirier get to an 89 overall? Joe Veleno's an 88. Oh shit, I didn't even notice that that's Stuart Pascale as well. I didn't even notice. Pascale and Marsh are both free agents. I didn't even notice. That's hilarious. But, I mean, you look at what I'd have to sign them to, I'd have to get rid of them immediately. So, nah. And again, to sign them, to trade them, that's pointless. Because I already have pretty much all of the top prospects in the game, and as it stands, I'm already going to have to go ahead and trade some players that I don't necessarily want to trade. So, as far as taking advantage of the game goes and the awful, awful AIGMs, there is still a limit. You have to be smart about it. And signing players like that for that price, that's a trap. That's what we call a trap, and I'm not going to fall for it. So, unsigned players. Who do we have? Well, we have to sign Zieler, I guess. He is Canadian. No, he's not. He's Swiss. I thought for sure he was Canadian. Well, that's perfect. Wow. He's a 49 overall. Oh, he's an enforcer. That's why. What the heck? What? Cademan? The fuck kind of a name is Cademan? Or is that Caedman? Is it Caedman or Cademan? Either way. Wow. No wonder why. Wow. No wonder why you're an enforcer. You had to grow up punching everybody because they were making fun of your fucking stupid name. Cademan. And, yeah, good point that he's a fourth line guy as a 49 overall. It's because of the physical category, of course, but ridiculous. Is he Canadian? No, he's American. Okay. Thoreau's obviously Canadian. I'll sign the other two, I guess, just to fill up a damn roster spot. Why the hell not? And then goaltenders. I mean, Boyer's American. Like, that's the thing. These great prospects, it's not even a matter, like, it's not fair. Because they're all eligible for the AHL immediately. It's not fair. It's bullshit, really. If you think about it, the fact that I'm just allowed to sign these guys, like Jared McDonald's the only one I'm not allowed to sign. I'll sign Hedman for the hell of it and then probably trade him. Low elite isn't a terrible potential, but man, it's just not fair. The fact that I can immediately send these players to the Griffins and have them develop, it's wow. Anyway, let's send to the next season. Well, once we get there, of course, we'll figure out the roster and who we'd probably get rid of. And there's that, for those watching live on Twitch, of course, there's that message I told you about with people asking me to play. I told you that was going to happen. And you know what? Screw it. Let's go turn off notifications for the moment. Let's do it. Let's do it. There we go. Now we don't have to worry about it again. I will ignore my friends because there are more important things, apparently. Not really. Maybe. Anyway, as I always expect, and as we've seen season after season, there's going to be roster turnover. I don't know if it'll be as extreme as it's been in the past, because especially, too, with the defensive prospects, we're in a bit of a rough spot. But the fact that we were able to perfectly balance having our top four the way it was, with Hronek, Haig, Dahlin, and Sylvan, Sylvan, as I will continue to call him. The fact that we were able to balance that, it's not fair. It's not fair. At this point, it's almost like I'm feeling sorry for the AI. That's what it is. I'm feeling sorry for the AI. I feel guilty about being able to just destroy them at this, to this magnitude, despite the fact that this was our first Cup win in 4 or 5 years. So, I don't know. Anyway, let's take a look at this team. Stan Dundas is up to an 85. He's a backup, which is good. I knew it would be a good call to get rid of, God, what the hell was his name? Joseph Wall. As far as the goaltending goes, of course, Boyer will be the starter. We need to get rid of a goalie. Whatever goalie has the lowest value is who we'll get rid of, and of course, we'll make sure that Boyer's the starter. The fact is, he went up 2 overall points just through the offseason. It's not fair at all. The defense is still looking all right. I think Smithson is gone because Scarlett, our enforcer, is up to an 84 and is a top 6 defenseman. So the easiest thing to do here will be to trade Ivy Smithson, and we just go with Scarlett and Galchenyuk on the third pairing. So that's pretty good, and I can send these 3 guys down for the moment. So that made my decision fairly easy as far as who do we have on defense, because, of course, the top 4 is locked in, and last season I was able to keep everybody happy. We'll see if that's the case for the majority of this season. But, yeah, Ivy Smithson, unfortunately, yet again, another amazing, just amazing player that we're going to have to let go because the entire league is just littered with players at this point that I've let go of, particularly defensemen. So, yeah, that trend continues, unfortunately. And then forwards, who do we have? Who do we have as far as progression goes, too? That's the big question. Holy shit. Okay, well, this is going to be a problem. This is going to be a problem. And the fact, hey, Wilson went up to a 51. Oh my god, and then you have Zeeler, who I guess I could just start. My god, it's so problematic. We have 6 players listed as first liners. Oh my god. 4 players listed as second liners, and then the rest are third line guys. Just, oh, the headache. Just the headache of dealing with this team at this point. Like, I prefer Draft to Glory, where it's just, yeah, well, it's just, all you have to worry about is, do you want a 79 overall guy or a 78 on your 4th line? This is ridiculous. It really is. So I have to decide. And to be honest, I think Connor McDavid goes. I think this is the time that we trade Connor McDavid. Because like I said, next year, his salary is going to double. And it's not going to be worth keeping him. Although, if I do keep him, I will be able to do the 85% trick. And rather than paying him $12 million, it would probably be 10. But still, that's an extra $4 million towards the cap, which granted we could afford. But the fact that we have $7 million of cap space, if not more, because you got to figure I have to send down 3 other guys. Holy shit. And then the big problem, because, okay, so for example, right? For example, like I could send down, like there's no way anybody's going to be happy. Because if you look at this top 6, right? I'm sure I could keep the top 6 happy because of power play time, right? So that's cool. But then it's going to be impossible to keep the second liners happy because they're not going to be able to get any power play time. No power play time whatsoever for those guys as it stands. The third liners might be happy on the fourth line because I could give them the PK time. But, man, like somebody has to go, flat out. Like some players have to go, and I'll have to make that decision right about now. Which, again, the benefits to not doing these episodes live on Twitch is I could just take the time to search it all out without the fear of like, oh, this is boring as hell. So, I don't know. And what I mean by search it all out is finding players to actually trade for. Which, I mean, at this point, again, it's a matter of just trying to find legitimate prospects. And I do have to go through every goddamn team here. So maybe I'll cut this part out once we get this up on YouTube. But for those on Twitch, buckle up. Buckle up. Because I need to literally search through every goddamn team. Thankfully, I did find Punanovs early. Sergei Punanovs. And you know what? I don't even care. I'm just going to immediately trade for him because he fits the bill and we'll get him. And, of course, like I said, we do have to trade a goaltender at the very least. Who is that going to be? It's going to be Pavlikovsky, which is fine. So that means down. Jesus. Down, and my God, look at McDonald. Look at our goaltending. Like the values. It's absurd. It's ridiculous. But that means our goaltending this year for Grand Rapids is going to be Boyer with Voloshenko and Hedman as the backups. It's, man, it's ridiculous. So Pavlikovsky isn't worth much. But I'll still work this deal out because we do know, of course, what defenseman we have to trade. That is going to be Smithson. Unfortunately for me, he's not worth that much either. Really. I mean, if you look, who was the other guy? Galchenyuk. Yeah, he's only a little bit worse. But again, Smithson, because I have to worry about the forwards, right? You could say, oh, well, keep Smithson, just get rid of Galchenyuk. But because of how much I'm going to have to try and balance keeping all my forwards happy, I can't worry about my defensemen, especially because I already have a problem with the defensemen. You know, Sylvan, Hronik, Dahlin, and Haig, trying to keep all of them happy. So I have to pick and choose my battles. Smithson's going to be on the way out as well, which works for me, I guess. Now, let me safety net this trade just a little bit because I don't know if they'll take that. But let me find out. And to be honest, I don't even know if that'd go through straight up. But here, let me just, again, safety net it. That didn't go through straight up. Still no. Okay, well, allow me then to figure out if there are any other forwards. Look at the values, by the way, just for forwards, right? On this team. Look at that. By the way, all skaters, look at the lowest value you can see in our top 12 players. It's absurd. And we have two skaters that have max value. We have a max value center, defenseman, and goaltender. It's fucking ridiculous. It really is. Oh my God. So who can we get rid of here? We can get rid of Tokarski. To be honest, I might just get rid of Wilson too. Maybe. Will they even take that deal? Is that too much? Will that go through? Still no. You know what? I'm probably just going to tack on a draft pick here just to get this to go through so that I can get rid of the garbage, and we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Let's find out. Let's find out. Okay, so, wow, I have, like, nothing for picks. How about a 4th round pick in the future? Is that enough to push this over the edge? It's not, so we'll try the 3rd round pick. Maybe. Just maybe. That will go through. I hope. Still no. Shit. You know, fuck it. I don't know how many more seasons we'll do, so how about a 2nd round pick way down the road? And again, just to make sure it's not too one-sided, let me safety net it with like a 6th round pick. Just to be sure. And yeah, there you go. Will it go through straight up? Yes, it will. Alright, you know what? I'm alright with that. I'm alright with that. We get rid of a bunch of players that we either don't need or are just flat-out garbage. We get rid of a 2nd round pick way down the road. But we do pick up another pretty damn good forward who should have a good season down in Grand Rapids. Yeah, for us this year, which is good. Allow me to send him down. And then again, we still have to figure out the rest of this team. Which, wish me luck. Wish me luck. Alright, so let's figure this out. I don't even know if we'll do any simming in this episode, but let's figure out this damn team. My God. So again, as far as first lines, man, see, like Wall and LeCavalier are first line guys. These guys are all 2nd liners. And then who was the other one? Okay, that was it. Good. So these guys are all 3rd line, these guys are 2nd line, and then the top 6 are all 1st line guys. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. Swig of Arnold Palmer for my sanity. And then down in the AHL, I can figure that all out later. So, as far as trying to keep people happy, I think the only decision, okay. So let's see, Nico Hischier. Let's take a look at Nico, shall we? 50 points last year, not great. Had a career high of 88, so he has been trending downward in a very big way. He had a really good postseason. But now might be the time to get rid of him. Although we could get rid of McDavid instead. That might be the issue, is that Nico is just not the top guy, and the fact that he's getting paid more than McDavid right now is hilarious. McDavid did have 70 points this year. He had 95 the year before. And in the playoffs, he had 17 points. You have Owen Tippett, who had a bit of a down year, but again, look at that, man. 81 points, 90, 82, 85. Like, he had a down year last year, and that was the first time in quite a few seasons. 29 goals. You might as well say 30. Close enough. Close enough. And then in the postseason, he was a monster. An absolute monster. Oh, Harold Wall. Harold Wall, 45 points. God damn it. God damn it. Let me go take a look at the trade values. The good thing is we're already here at the screen. Trade values. Alright, so who is near the bottom that's still on the NHL roster? Edmonds is the lowest, but he's not a bad 3rd line guy. Lilia is a 2nd line guy already. 24 years old, he's not going to get much better. Kaminsky, Malkin, Hamhuis. Damn it. Oh my God, this is not an easy decision whatsoever. Like, it really isn't. And it's just a matter right now of me trying to decide, do I want to try and keep people, basically more high-end players than I really need, or do I just want to get rid of people and play guys in their proper role, 1st line, 2nd line, 3rd line? That is the decision. Which, if I were to do it that way, it would essentially mean getting rid of an entire line that you see here. Which, to be honest, would probably mean Wall, Hischier, and LeCavalier being traded. I'd probably go with Boulerice, McDavid, and Tippett, highest overall players, well, with the exception of Wall being a 91. Man, this is a tough decision, let me tell you. Let me tell you. And then, do I have faith in those 2nd liners? That's the question. Do I have faith in those 2nd liners? I could get rid of the 2nd liners. I could get rid of that line, have this be my 3rd line, and then down in the AHL, we could call up probably Zeeler. Who else? Krogan, Yoshimura, Niels, Puninoff, who we just acquired. God damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. I don't know what to do here. I don't know what to do because there are so many different ways to approach this. The fact that we only have a 98 defense is a joke. It should be a 100. It really should be. So I need to make the right choice as far as who to get rid of. And you know what? To help make that decision, we are still going to have to go through the entire league to see what half-decent prospects are out there. Again, I'm not looking for other great players to acquire. We already have other great players. I mean, I could probably trade Nico Hischier and whoever else to get Jack Eichel and a pick. Like, I could do that, I'm sure. But, again, that'll just kind of change out certain players that are it'd still be an issue. But it would be kind of funny to go that overboard with it. And you know what? For the hell of it, let me check Anaheim again. All right, so Anaheim doesn't have anybody. Who did the Bruins have? McAvoy, Simpson. Okay, not great. Buffalo, of course, has one Jack Eichel. And you know what? Allow me to just take his name down because we might get completely ridiculous with this. It might happen. And they do actually have a decent prospect as well in Tikhonov. So I'll be keeping an eye out on the Sabres. They have this other guy here. Medium top 9, not great, but he might be worth getting because, keep in mind, we have pretty much every goddamn top prospect. Nolan Patrick is available. 94, or not available, but an option. I do suppose. Columbus, who do you have? Who do you have? Wilkinson. What a beast. They do have Solis, high top 9. Shit. Oh my god. It's just... Oh, it's ridiculous. That's all. It's just ridiculous. And I'm trying to think just how ridiculous do I want to be with this series that refuses to die. Just outright refuses to fucking stop. It can't end. It can't. Who else do we have? Chicago. Tommy Hagman, I remember you. They do have a Legwand as a potential prospect. Allow me to mark down his name as well. Again, he's not great, and we certainly wouldn't be getting fair value. We'd have to take picks back for these players, but I'll say right now, again, as I have to scroll through everybody here, actually, Pody would be a really good pickup in Dallas. I swear we've taken good prospects from Dallas in the past, which, I mean, shouldn't surprise anybody, really. And wasn't Hamel ours? Was that Marcel Hamel? We had him at one point. We had, I'm 99% sure we had him at one point. Which, again, wouldn't surprise me. I will say, though, at this stage, there's probably a good chance, hello Ekblad, how are you? There's probably a good chance of seeing Jack Eichel on this team, maybe. Maybe. Here, let me mark down Briere in Edmonton. Holy hell. How are we going to do this? How are we going to set this team up? Right now, again, it's just a matter of finding players who I'd actually be willing to trade for, and then it's who the hell do we get rid of? So that way I have a list of prospects of who to actually acquire. Again, for YouTube, if I don't record this episode live, which of course I am, but if I don't, it's much easier off screen to just be like, okay, I figured it out, let me continue. Doing this live, you can understand. You can understand why it is slightly difficult for me to try and make this entertaining, because I'm sitting here trying not to be boring as hell, but also trying to figure out just what the hell am I going to do with this team, because as I speak right now, I still have no goddamn idea what the hell to do and who to get rid of, but people have to go. I shouldn't have given up Ty Comrie, by the way. That might have been a mistake. Clearly. That might have been a mistake. What a beast he turned into. What an absolute beast he turned into. Anybody else? Nope. Nobody on New Jersey. There's a really good chance, guys, that we might end up with Jack Eichel. Because why not? It would be hilarious. At this point, you have Nolan on Nashville. Read the chat. I always read the chat. I just don't directly respond when I'm recording. Anyway, Islanders. Islanders. Anybody here aside from the guy that we gave you earlier in McCann? You have Evans and Yakubov. Well, needless to say, the Islanders are a premier destination, I would say. Because they actually have, and they do have Briere as well, who's not great, but Evans, who will be NHL ready very shortly, and Yakubov would be decent pickups. They would be. The Rangers, Bordelot. Jesus Christ. Did we never acquire this guy? Georges Bordelot. Oh my God, that's right, he was ours. This is what I'm talking about. The amount of players that we've just had to get rid of in the first place. He's a goddamn 90 overall. Unreal. Absolutely unreal. I'm like, wait a minute. I thought I recognized that name. Turns out I did. Oh, nobody on Ottawa. How about Philly? Nope. No well, they do have one prospect in Liston, who's at least somewhat noteworthy, I guess, all things considered. But he's really the only half-decent prospect. The good thing is we are almost through this entire damn team. No. And you know what I'm saying when I say no. No. Moving on beyond Pittsburgh. Moving on. Who do we have? Jesus, Lettinen. I think he's Joakim Lettinen. Now, we didn't end up getting him. He is a bit of a monster, for sure. How did he do last year? How did he do? 57 points and a minus 31. Maybe not. 98 shot blocking, though. Good Lord. Good Lord. Joakim Lettinen. What a beast. They have Paris as well, who was one of our players. Unbelievable. St. Louis. Marcel Debian, former player of ours. God damn, I could say that about half the league at this point if it's of any player that actually has some value. If there's any player that has even a minor amount of fucking value, he is probably on this team at one point. Who do we have here? Like Recchi, for example, was one of our players, because that's just how it works. The defenseman, as I mentioned earlier, the quality of defensemen that I've had to get rid of in this series is just unfair. And we have McBride on Tampa as a defenseman who might be worth getting. We're almost through all these teams, damn it. Toronto. Fuck's sake, Austin Matthews is a 96. Unreal. How did he do point-wise? Is that good when you get as many points as you had as you have an overall number? Is that good? It was kind of a fluke because he played with Tolvanen, who just tore the league a new one. They do have Curtis, who I'd be interested in. That's about it, though. God damn. It's looking like I'm just going to have to flat out decide who to get rid of. Helmerson, another defenseman, who was ours at one point. Jesus, man. Can you imagine if I didn't have the cap, the salary cap on, the quality of players that we would have on this team? And if the morale system was off, it would just be ridiculous. Zach Ronning, another defenseman of ours. Oh my God. It just doesn't end. It just doesn't end. Okay. We made it through every team, which is good. Problem is, I still don't know who to go after, which could probably be solved pretty quickly. So for forwards, again, it's just a matter of who do I want to keep, and who do I think I could keep happy at this point. And it might just be best to keep all of the top six, or all the first-line players in the top six, maybe, and then just get rid of Celios, Gray, and Enroth, who are these second-line guys. That might be the best way to handle it. Let me check René Lecavalier here. 23 years old, 90 overall. Pretty damn good player, that is for sure. But only had 32 points last year. But I think he was on... No, was he on the second line last year? I think he was. Well, the good thing about him, though, is... Oh, nope, he is getting paid at this point. Well, shit. Renee, you're on your way out of here. I can tell you that much. And again, I marked down the Islanders for a reason. So they had Evans. It was Evans and Yakubov that we will look to acquire. And will that go through straight up? No, it won't. I know the value bars are in their, it's in their favor, but just because they wanted to trade him. Shit. Okay, so from there, if I'm getting rid of him, I could also tack on. So let's see, Lilia was a second line guy. Who else was a second line guy? Enroth, Gray, and Celios. Shit. Well, for the moment, is Lilia a center? Nope, he's not. Well, shit. You know what? At this point, I can't even keep track. I can't even keep track of the caliber of players that we have. So I guess I'm going to put LeCavalier and Lilia into this deal, I guess. At this point, it's like, I got to get rid of them. I have to get rid of them. So whatever. We'll acquire at least these one decent prospect, one not so much. They already have our first round pick. I'm just going to try like hell to pick horde here. Will that go through? Still no. Let me take off the second. Will that go through? Still no. I kind of disagree with how stingy they are. But damn it, I am going to pick horde because I don't give a shit. Will that go through? No, it won't. I'll try to get my first back. The only reason why I'm trying to pick horde is because if the roles were reversed and I were the Islanders, they'd be like, no, we want 4 first-round picks to make this happen. That's the only reason why I pick horde. Just to, stick it to the AI a little bit for being cheap as hell. And I'll be cheap right back. I'll do it. So it looks like I can get a first and a third. Let me tack on, I don't know, a fourth. Because who cares? Will that go through? Still no. Still a bit low. Really? Really. Fourth and a sixth. LeCavalier, Lilia, a fourth and a sixth. I mean, obviously we are losing this deal. Because our first round pick isn't worth shit. But there's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do. At best, I could go out and probably get somebody like an Eichel. I could go out and try to get Matthews if I wanted and have them on the top line with McDavid, I guess. Oh, shit. You know what? That sounds like a hell of an idea. Hey, Buffalo, let's talk. Even though cap space-wise, you're looking a little bit rough. Jack Eichel. Gets paid $12 million. Jack Eichel's not going to get paid. You know what? I'll take this as a goddamn challenge. Jack, how would you like to come to Detroit, but you leave Buffalo with half the bill? How does that sound, buddy? How does that sound? Because I will gladly acquire Jack Eichel, but yeah, you're going to have to retain half the salary. How's that sound, Buffalo? How's that sound? We're going to make this work, damn it. We are going to make this work, I promise you. So, LeCavalier will definitely be a part of this deal. So at this point, the players I'm looking to keep on offense, McDavid, Boulerice, Tippett. And then I'm probably going to try to acquire Eichel. Maybe. Well, Eichel, maybe Matthews. We'll see. Fuck it. We'll see how crazy this gets. So Cavalier has to go. We can also throw a second-line guy in. Are there any second-line players who aren't being paid yet? Is the question. And indeed, Tiny Gray is one of those guys. So let's put Tiny Gray into this deal. Ah, shit, they'd have too many players. You know what? That's okay. That's okay. I can make this work. They do have Fortier, who isn't great. Oh, that's right. They had Tikhonov as well. I can get this to work. And this is going to this is going to benefit me. Fuck realism. That was established 3 or 4 to 8 seasons ago. Will that go through? No. Figured I'd try. Why the hell not? Again, we'll safety net this just a little bit. Still no. Will that go through? Still no. Will that go through straight up? Still no. But you know what? That's okay. Damn it, we'll make it work. Let's go way down the road. Not quite. But our first round pick in 2034, because I don't know if I'm actually going to be keeping the series alive for that long. We'll see. Let's see if I use our first round pick. Nope. Worth a shot. Worth a shot. Will that go through? I do wonder. How about just that? Still no. Buffalo, come on now. Just come on. Let's not drag this out any longer than we have to. Come on. Will that go through? Still no. Okay. I might not be giving Buffalo enough credit considering Eichel is they're retaining half the salary on Jack Eichel. Here, what if I give up a second as well? Well, what do you say to that? Still no. You know what? Let's use our picks from this year because they have absolutely no value whatsoever because we're going to win the cup again. So why the hell not? We'll safety net it with a third round pick. Still no. How about straight up? Still no. This is ridiculous, by the way. Just ridiculous, but it's really our only option. How much am I going to have to give up to get this deal done, by the way? That's my question at this point. And is it even possible, given the salary cap? We will find out. Will that go through? See, case in point, like, we are giving up a shitload. Yeah, I know, it's Jack Eichel. He has max value and retaining half the salary. I know, but I'm just saying. 2 first-round picks. Again, I don't mind trading our firsts. They have very little value to us. We'll safety net up with a third-round pick. They don't want to do it because of the cap retention. What about now? Still no. Still no. We'll have to give up a little bit more to try and make this work. This is ridiculous. Will that go through? Still no. I'm going to have to give up another second-round pick. This is ridiculous, by the way. Just ridiculous. Will that go through? Still no. Will it go through now? Holy shit. Rene LeCavalier, Tiny Gray, 2 first-round picks and a second to Buffalo in exchange for Jack Eichel at half salary and prospect Tikhonov. If you told me at the start of the episode that that's the trade I would have done, I probably would have believed you. But still, what a joke. This team. Oh my god. So we'll send down Tikhonov. And again, we'll just try to clean up this roster a little bit along the way. I think we're looking all right. So, the top line again. I think I'm all right with trading Wall. Then we have Lilia, Enroth, and Celios, who still have to go. So I could have McDavid, Eichel, Boulerice. Second line could be Hischier, Tippett, Matthews. And then we'll get rid of Lilia, Enroth, Celios, and Wall to make that happen. I think that's the way it's going. Damn. So, the question is, is it possible to get Austin Matthews at this point? Is it possible to get Austin Matthews on 50% salary? I don't know. But we're going to find out. Because why the fuck not? This game is determined to keep this series alive, so damn it, we'll find out. Is this possible? So for forwards, again, looking at keeping McDavid and Eichel. Boulerice we're going to keep because people, for the most part, not be too happy about me getting rid of them. I want to keep Tippett and Hischier. Wall, of course, is going to be a great player, I would assume. 45 points, didn't really do much in the playoffs, so fuck it. I'm alright with getting rid of him. He's going to be the odd man out. How much more do we have to do to get this deal done is the question. Again, Celios, Enroth, they have to go. Lilia has to go. And the good thing is, okay, they would have too many skaters, but let me see. Who else did they have? They had Curtis. And there he is. And from there, picks would start to be an issue. Now, that's obviously not going to go through. Holy shit. Okay. So, my first round pick next year. What do you say to that? Still no. Still no. God, here, let me go for second rounders. If this goes through, I'm fine with it. And it didn't. So, yay. More first round picks. All of the first round picks. 2 first round picks, is that enough? Still no. I don't think we're going to get this to work the way it is. This is just stupid, by the way. Oh, this is so dumb. Will this go through? Still no. How about now? Still no. Wow, they actually declined. Okay, so if we take Lilia out, which we very well could. A fair point that we could use this goalie. Fair point. Who else, though, could I use here? So instead of Lilia, we'll use someone who has more value. How about Celios, who, again, looks like an absolute beast of a player. No doubt about it. But this is for Austin Matthews. This is for Austin Matthews. And again, I know we have the goalie. I'll take a look at potentially doing another trade after this. I have no fucking idea. Will that go through? Still no. Straight up? Still no. Okay, so instead, I didn't want to use McDonald here, but wow, just the value of that alone. Wall, Celios, and McDonald. Like, it's, fuck's sake, man. Fuck's sake. And then if we look here, I'm going to try to safety net this with draft picks just in case. Will that go through? No, it won't. What about that? How about just the first? I feel like that's a fair deal, even with a first round pick. I feel like that's fair. I feel like Toronto's being a bit stingy here. My God, that still won't go through. Holy shit, am I still going to have to use draft picks to get this done? Oh my God. Straight up, will it work? Holy God. This is fucking absurd. How about our second round pick next year? Will that go through? No. Let me use the third round pick next year before I start getting into first. Will that go through? Harold Wall, Trent Celios, McDonald, and picks for Austin Matthews and a prospect named Curtis. So we get Austin Matthews. We just, like, that's whole, like, I wouldn't do that trade for Gretzky. Oh my God. Toronto gets one hell of a goddamn return. And now we have McDavid, Matthews, and Eichel on the same team. This is fucking stupid. Oh, this is so stupid. So look at the quality of players we have, and as it stands, I'm still looking at, because Lilia and Enroth, they have to go. Like, they have to go, and then on the third line, I'll probably get rid of Kenny Edmonds from the looks of it. Yeah, we're going to probably go with Hamhuis instead, who is better defensively. So Edmonds, Lilia, and Enroth still have to go. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And again, as far as the top six goes, look how much salary cap space we still have, by the way. Like, look at this. We have McDavid on $6 million, Eichel on $6 million, Matthews is on $5.6 million. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Now, again, that's our top six. Boleris is 4. And then the question is, do I move on from Tippett and Hischier to just keep this to be even more ridiculous? I think I do. Like, that top six. Look at those top 6 players. Like, as it is, the second line will probably be Tippett, Boleris, Hischier. Like, it's just absurd. It's just absolutely absurd. Man. I don't even know what to say at this point. People are saying, get Line A. Is he still there? I'd say I'm a little bit disappointed by Line A. He's only a 92. He's only a 92. I mean, I get why, of course, but still. So, you know, I think the top 6 is good. I think the top 6 is good. Now, Nolan Patrick would be the interesting one, of course, because he was actually max value. But, I don't know. 86 offensive awareness, 10 million. Fuck's it. I don't know if it's worth getting Patrick because it'd only be for one season. It'd only be for one season. So, how did he do last year? 59 points. Very injury prone the year before. All right, you know, I think the 6 is good. The 6 is good. Just let me figure out then who is going where. So again, Enroth, Lilia, and Edmonds need to go. And the first team I'm going to go to is the Islanders. They had Evans and Yakubov that I was looking at before we went crazy by acquiring Eichel and Matthews. So Evans and Yakubov. Now, Evans is going to be NHL ready very, very soon, which is pretty ridiculous. But let's see. Okay, so again, second liners. Again, it was Enroth, Lilia, and Edmonds. That's who we were looking at here. And to be honest, I mean, I should be able to get this deal done without using picks. I hope. We'll see. We shall see. Let me go to draft picks here, just to safety net this a little bit. If that goes through, I'm all right with it. It did not. How about just the second? Still no. Straight up? Still no. Value's just a bit low. All right, so you know what? Here, we'll tack on a nothing pick, I guess. For the record, our next draft pick is in 2031. It is the 2029 season. Just so you are aware. My God. 4th, 5th, and a 6th. Whatever. That's fine by me. Will that go through? Yes, it will. So Edmonds and Lilia are off to the island. To the Islanders. They're off to Brooklyn. Although, who the hell knows where the Islanders are going to be playing 12 years from now. For Evans and Yakubov. Evans and Yakubov. All right. So again, let me go forwards. Evans is actually listed as a 4th line guy, which is perfect. He's a power forward, so he'll play on the 4th line this year. And then, like I said, Krog, low elite, but might be worth calling up. Zeeler is ridiculous, so you know what? I will call him up. And that's looking good. That is looking good. So we need one more deal to be done. It'll be Enroth. Our 3rd line is set. And then I could look at acquiring a 4th liner, but the problem is guys like Evans and Zeeler are going to progress so quickly, it's not worth going out to get anybody. Krog, by the All-Star game, will probably be listed as a 3rd liner. That's just how it works. And this is directed specifically at the Twitch chat. Shut up about enforcers. We have one. His name is Nolan Scarlett. Show him the respect he deserves. The end. So, let me get back to it again. Enroth is on his way out. And to who? I have no idea. Because there was actually Nolan on Nashville. For some reason, I remember him being great. Was I wrong? Was Nolan really good? Nope, Nolan. Well, 75 overall, 19 years old, medium elite. That's actually not bad. I don't remember who the best guy was here. I got to double check here because I want to make sure I get the best prospects, of course. Columbus. There you are. So you had Solis, who is not great. Actually, 77 overall, 19. Is that what it was? At 20. Okay. Chicago had Legwand. Yeah, they're all kind of the same at this rate. Dallas had Pody. Pody is great. So we'll go after him. That's looking like some fair value there. So Enroth is on his way out. That should be very close to a done deal right off the bat, I would imagine. I'll safety net it with a 3rd round pick. Will that go through? No, it won't. Straight up. Still no, but it has to be close, I would imagine. I would imagine. Wow. We have, like, no picks at this point. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. That's insane. That is the lowest amount of picks I have ever had at any point. Oh, my God. And there we go. Enroth is off to Dallas in exchange for that prospect, Pody. And that pretty much does it. As far as setting up this team, I just need to figure out who I want to call up for that fourth line. Again, it could be Krog. Actually, let me see. So we have Zeeler and Evans. And neither of them, does anybody have better than 74 faceoffs, is what I'm really wondering. Corvo is at 79, but he's not great. You know, it might be worth bringing in somebody, I guess. Or I could just go with Krog. But I think this team is pretty much set, as absolutely ridiculous as it is. Like, this team is absurd. That is the only way to put it. This team is absurd. And I guess we'd go Matthews, McDavid, Eichel, Boleries, Hischer, Tippett. Third line is Malkin, Kaminsky, Hamhuis. Fourth line would be Zeeler, Evans, and whoever else. What the fuck, man? That's crazy. Like I said, it's not even worth going out to get anybody else other than who we have already in the form of Manny Krog, because he is going to improve to begin with. He's going to be an NHL-level player very soon. Same with Martikainen or Randy Yoshimura. They're going to make the jump very, very soon. How many scratched forwards do we have? Pretty much nobody. Pretty much nobody. One scratched defenseman. So we'll put in Pody for Jokinen, who's an AHL-level guy. Let me see it, just the lineup here. Portman's not ours either. So we do need... Oh, so let's see. We do need 2 forwards, I'd say. Actually, probably 3 forwards for this team. Although I can't remember if injuries are on or off, but I'll probably turn them back on. So I do need... Man, this is going to be a marathon, isn't it? I do need 3 forwards. One that's good enough to be on the team, and then 2 depth players. So I'll figure that out. The fact that I have $16 million available is a joke. An absolute joke. So for forwards, you know what? I could, if I wanted to, probably, actually, it's a pretty big drop-off. Never mind. So, Trevor Lewis. Good. Oh, it's actually Ty Lewis. Wow, Trevor Lewis is probably retired already. Goddamn. Michael Bunting's not awful. Joffrey Jaspers. Sergei Tolchinsky, 92 passing, 83 offensive awareness. Sure. Let's sign up Tolchinsky for the year, and then depth players. Jimmy Lodge isn't terrible. Lucas Wallmark isn't terrible, but he is, I think he's Swedish. Actually, here, you know what? Let me look for veterans at this point. Steven Stamkos is 38 years old and a 78 overall. Well, I'm signing Stammer. That's happening. That's happening. And then, who else? Carpenter, Wilson, Peter Straka, Max McCormick, Emerson Nim, Ryan Johansson is there as well. So I'm going to sign Stamkos and Ryan Johansson too, because this team just continues to get that much more ridiculous. And then for defensemen, I need 1 depth player. And why not go with Oliver Ekman-Larsson, right? What the hell? What the hell? This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. I didn't mean to sort goalies. It's going to take forever. Okay, there we go. Holy shit. So I think this team is pretty much good to go. Like I said, the only concern is the fourth line. But as we've seen, season after season, and if you haven't seen it, you should have watched the series from the start. You still have time. Don't worry. But, God, what the hell was I saying? It's just what happens. Like, every year, an AHL level player, or 2 or 3, become NHL ready throughout the course of the year. And that is, of course, because of how many players we end up getting that are half-decent prospects. So we will keep Krog. The defense is set. This team is set. The only thing I have to worry about, of course, now is keeping players happy, which might be easier said than done. And I am a bit worried about Hamhuis being a third-line guy. He's great defensively, but offensively, he is just garbage. I wish he was locked in on a fourth-line role. Yeah, he's not quite a Yannick Hansen as far as offensive ability goes. I could just send up Manny Krogh, to be honest. You know, I might do that. I might just bump up Manny Krogh. Evans isn't bad. Zeeler isn't bad. But, you know what? If we go with Krogh, Malkin is listed as a righty, or as a right winger at least. And then we go Zeeler, Evans, and Hamhuis, which is a decently physical line. Hamhuis will be happy with the penalty kill time. I think that's good. That top six is disgusting. That top six is sickening. It really is. And to be honest, I'm worried that the top six might be too good. It's like the Golden State Warriors at this point. And granted, they did of course win. But when you have all this talent, there's only one puck. So how is this going to work? How is this going to work? When I started this series, we were playing it realistically. And now we have Austin Matthews, Connor McDavid, and Jack Eichel on the same team. You never know how this is going to pan out. You never know how a series, what direction a series is going to go. And then, of course, on defense, it's just even more ridiculous. It's just even more ridiculous. We'll see what Galchenyuk and Scarlett can do. They are a pretty heavy shutdown pairing is what I'm trying to say. I'll figure out the power play and all that shit later, but we should be able to keep everybody happy and healthy, I hope. But in the AHL, I just need to figure out who gets scratched, which is probably going to be Johansson. Actually, it'll probably be Tolchinski. Probably. We'll see. Let me double check here. Who is scratched? Pody? Yeah, we need to get Kolosov back into the lineup. He is low elite, but he needs the time. So we'll go with Pody, and then we'll take out Johansson, because I'd rather go with Stamkos. And we'll go with Kolosov, and I think that does it. So we have Ryan Johansson, Tolchinski, and Portman and Jokin in our AHL signings. On defense, we'll have to put Moran into the lineup, but aside from that, we're looking good. Just let me get the team set. I'll actually have to take out OEL. He is a depth guy. So we'll go with Moran. The other enforcer we have, Hargrave, is medium top six, so he doesn't have that much importance. So Moran's getting power play time because I just subbed him out for Oliver Ekman-Larsson. So let's see, low elite. Oh god, it's like at this point all these guys have half decent value. So let's go with Celios and Finley. And then who the hell else do we want to go with? I guess we'll go Kuleshov, LaPierre, and yeah, there we go. That's looking good. And then the goaltending. Hedman gets taken out of the lineup. Where is our goalie? What the fuck? Where is Boyer? We signed him. Where is he? Unless he was, despite being American, did he play in the CHL? That might be the case. Here, let me see. Is he a CHL guy? He is. Okay, shit. So I was mistaken this entire time. Boyer is actually a CHL player, which is pretty disappointing. I know some people are going to be like, oh, just play him as the backup. No, we won't do that. So we'll send him back down to junior. That is a bit disappointing. But at the very least, our goaltending's still looking okay. Granted, the goaltending could be looking better had I not gotten rid of certain people. But we do still have two half-decent goalies there. I'm going to have to go out and sign a fifth. Damn. That is a bit disappointing, though, because of the other goalie I just got rid of, whose name I cannot remember. But he wasn't that great. It was Pavlikovsky, or whatever. Yeah, that was his name. So really quick, I am going to have to go out and sign a 5th goalie just in case of injury, because otherwise the game will do it for me. So we'll look at veterans. Of course, I traded McDonald as well. We wouldn't have been able to sign him. He was just flat-out Canadian. Let's bring Jared Coro back, shall we? After all this time, Jared Coro is coming back to the Griffins. He's coming back to the Griffins. And that will pretty much end the episode with our ridiculous team. Just need to wait to hear back from Coro. There we go. Allow me to just set up the lines for the AHL. Again, the NHL lines. I'll have to take a look at the special teams and all that, but that's not all that complicated. So, we are good. It's just the forwards I have to figure out as far as potentials go. High top 9 is actually more valuable than medium top 6. So let's get those high top 9 guys up there. And then who else do we have? Low elite is still probably more valuable than medium top 9. Maybe. Maybe. Or high top 9, I should say. And then we will drop Stamkos down. So let's see. Curtis Tikhonov, it doesn't really matter. Medium elite, high top 6. Alright, so we'll put him up there. Put Roloff up there. So Roloff, Punanovs, and Pody are the guys on the top line, which is absolutely ridiculous, by the way. The second line, we have low elite. We have a high top 9. We have 2 more of those guys, by the way. Yeah, let's just go high top 9 flat out. And then, oh, who to go with here? Let's go with Judry. Judry, Stamkos, Kolosov. 4th line of Martikainen, Corvo, and Kern. So the lowest potential we have is a medium top 6 forward. And we'll have Stamkos on that 3rd line. Absolutely ridiculous. And then you look at the NHL lineup and it's like, oh, never mind. That's absolutely ridiculous. I think that brings a close to this marathon episode of Rebuilding Hockeytown as this series continues, apparently. Again, the one downside is Boyer. Maybe it's even Boyer. Who the hell knows? Having to be sent back down to junior. That is the one disappointing factor. But at the NHL level, we have Van Kadishin. Dundas has arrived at the NHL level, which is great. Down in the AHL, of course, we still have 2 decent goaltenders who will continue to improve, so that's good. It continues. That's all you can say. It continues. This team will once again be cup favorites, as if that's a surprise to anybody. It shouldn't be at this point. And to answer the question of how much longer this series goes, I have no idea. I'm just going episode by episode at this point, but I have to admit now at this stage, with the 100 rated offense, 98 and 99 for the other 2 ratings, I'm intrigued to see how we'll do this year. And of course, the big question is, and what everyone will want to see with the series, is how good will Boyer end up being? And I guess we're just going to have to find out, won't we? So guys, that will do it for those hanging out live on Twitch. Of course, stick around. We are not done yet. But for those watching on YouTube after the fact, I do thank you very much for watching. You know what you have to do to support the video and to support the channel. And whatever you choose to do, I thank you. Unless you do nothing, in which case I hate you. What's the matter with you? Get off your ass and do something with your life. Yeah. Fucking hell. Thank you guys so much, again, whether on Twitch for hanging out or on YouTube for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode of Rebuilding Hockeytown. Although I think it's built. I'm going to rename this series to Hockeyopolis at this point, like officially. Officially.